Hi, everybody. Gosh, can you see these weird little dots on my glasses? Welcome into Moffitt Talks Lives. How is everybody? It is Sunday night. I am still in Palm Springs for a few more days. Loving it. It's turned out such nice weather here the last few days. And yeah, it's super chill. Had a great time. Had a client come out and work with me all day yesterday, which is really fun. She wanted to get a little more clarity around kind of a purpose and create. Hi, Tom. So nice to see you too, buddy. I was just saying that I had lots of dots last week. Isn't that weird? I don't know what those are. I was just saying that I had a client come out, and I'm still in Palm Springs. They had a client come out and work with me all day yesterday. We worked in person, which was the first. I haven't done that in a year and a half. That was so much fun. And she lives in San Diego and drove out here, and we worked on a little bit of her business plan and really kind of clarified some purpose statements for her. It was great. Had a great time doing that. And got to talk to my accountant today. That was great. Got to figure out my taxes. And yeah, so lots of good things still happening here. I'm in Palm Springs until Thursday, and then I'll go back. But I was interesting because one of the things that has been kind of fueling me is understanding what fuels people to get things done. And I know for a lot of people, they can get kind of stuck in a rut of they're procrastinating. They're not, just kind of getting to the thing that they want to do. And there's lots of reasons for that, right? Procrastination can happen because we're resisting an emotional experience that we think is going to happen, right? It often doesn't happen. The pressure and the thought process of trying to get to what we're going to do, the procrastination part becomes because we think of all the misery that we're going to experience by doing this thing that we don't want to do. And usually what we find out is that once we start doing it, it's not as much misery as we think it's going to be. But I think there's usually two drivers for people to get started and when to go after something they want to do, or a little bit is, do I have enough passion or purpose behind this? You want to stop to procrastinate? Listen, put it out a little bit longer, Tom. Go shoot to 2025. Why rush these things? And so thinking about, these glasses are going to drive me crazy. Thinking about helping my clients figure out what do they need to give themselves to kind of push forward. And sometimes it is, I need to have a bigger reason to do this. I need to have a bigger fuel, a bigger purpose to go after. And, if we don't have a strong enough why around why we want to do something, truthfully, we're not going to do it. And so really digging into the motivation behind people, trying to figure out why it is they want to do this thing can be super helpful. And the other component of that is giving a time pressure. So there can be a purpose pressure. Is this an important thing that I really want to accomplish? Or do I need a time pressure? I only have a short time to do this. One of the things that I found in facilitation or training or going in and working with people is if I give them a short amount of time to achieve something, it's amazing what they get done. Let me give you an example. So yesterday I asked my client who was with me, I wanted her to give me a mini talk, 10 minutes, around 3 lessons of which she's learned in her area of expertise, of area that she wants to coach in. And I gave her literally about a minute to prepare this talk. And in that minute, you could see kind of the range of emotions of like, oh God, I don't want to do this. And then the thought came in. And then honestly, around 45 seconds, she goes, okay. And I gave her a little bit more. And I said, no, take a little bit more time. Plan out what you want to do. We're going to record this. It's going to be really helpful for you. And in that moment of apprehension or fear, it kind of dissipated because she only had a limited amount of time. She knew it wasn't going to have to be perfect. It just had to be done in that short amount of time. And then she delivered it. She gave me a 10-minute talk, and literally it was like 9 minutes and 50 seconds. It was so well timed. And each story, but she gave me 3 stories with lessons and a question. It was so well done. My jaw dropped after she did it. And in part because I think sometimes we can get caught up in it needs to be perfect. It needs to be absolutely right. I can't fail at this. And by letting go of that and by really just working within the time pressure that she had, she delivered such an amazing talk. I said right there, she had a workshop. She could literally do what she did with me in a workshop format, spread it out, give people time to answer the questions that she gave me and be able to discuss it and talk about it. And she would have an hour-long workshop. It was so great. I was so proud of her. And I think how often we give ourselves, there's this idea of Parkinson's law. And what Parkinson's law does is, or what it says is that we'll use up all the time that is given to us for any given task, right? So when we have, 3 hours to do something, we're going to push through and get it done in 3 hours. If we've got 3 days, we're probably going to take all 3 days to do it and maybe budget up a little bit. And if we have 3 months, 3 years, we're going to take all that time, and we're probably going to take all that time and actually do most of the work in the last 10% of the time that we have left to do it. Yeah, she is a life coach. She's amazing, Tom. She's a coach with a really specific niche. She's really great. So for anyone watching or listening to this, if you have something that you have been procrastinating on, or you don't want to do, or you're thinking, why am I just not doing this? First of all, understand that you're avoiding what you perceive to be is a potential pain point. Procrastination, there's usually an emotional based. We're fearful or we're resisting the pain that we think we're about to experience. And usually that pain dissipates within 10 minutes of actually starting the activity. But we also don't have a big enough reason for ourselves to do it. It's not a strong enough why. And then we also don't give ourselves enough time pressure to get it done in. So we can say, I just want, or right? Or you could just be lazy. For sure, that too. Thank you for your honesty, Tom. You could just be lazy. Absolutely. But I bet you, Tom, if there was something you wanted to get done, right? Dig deep, Tom. There might be something that you want to get done that you would actually go after and get it done. Hey, also, just recognizing that this is the last Moffitt Talks before the holiday. If you celebrate Christmas or whatever you celebrate, I think as we come to the end of the year, hopefully there's some reflection for you. For many people, 2021 was one hell of a year. For me, I think I experienced so much languishing and, as I've said before, kind of slow dancing with depression. And as I look forward to 2022, I can see kind of hopefulness again and the idea of what it is I want to create in 2022 that would not only help myself, but help all the clients that I get to work with. I had such an amazing roster of clients in 2021. They really saved me, to be honest with you, the connections I was able to make with some really kind of incredible people who are doing great things out in the world. It was a pleasure to be in their space. Yeah, Tom, it was the best of times and worst of times. Thanks, Tom. I'm going to put that up there because that is true. And I think part of it, and what I continually have to come back to, it is that we see in the world that which we want to see. And so if we are purposefully looking for joy and lightness, we will see it. It will be harder to see sometimes because there can be so much negativity and we're wired for negativity. But if we want to see it, we'll be able to spot it. And if we're unconscious, if we're not aware, our brains will go to their default mode network, the default wiring of negativity. And we are fed that on a constant basis. And guess what? That's what you'll see too. If that's what you see or perceive the world to be, that's exactly what it is. But I have to think as we get closer and closer to ourselves, if we're willing to look for the light, it is there in the neighbors that you have, in the community that you're in. And in moments like this, when you come online and you just see a video of a friend willing to connect with you in some way. I hope you all have a great holiday, whatever you celebrate. I'm going to head off to Rhode Island for New Year's for a great getaway, an annual getaway that we didn't get to do last year. So that will be really fun. And then 2022 hits us and we await to see what the world brings us. But not only that, what we create in the world. I hope your world is well, my friends. I'll see you later. Thanks, Tom.